What's up, everyone? This is Mayan Gordon, owner of Mayan Gordon Media, co-founder of Champion Empire. We are back for a little bit of an early live at 5. I think it's 4:52 p.m. right now on my laptop. Wherever you're watching from, you might be East Coast, where it would be 7:52, or maybe you're completely in a different part of the world. So what I'd love for you guys to do, if you've watched any of my live streams before, go ahead and comment one thing that you're grateful for today and where in the world are you watching from. Here in Spokane, it has just started getting really, really cold. I think on Friday it's supposed to snow. We've got a high of like 32, a low of 17 degrees. I am all bundled up, even inside of my house. I've got the heater on, but I am a total lizard. I think a lot of couples can probably appreciate this. My husband runs super warm, super hot all the time, and I am cold. I am a cold person. My fingertips and my fingers are always cold. I love to bundle up, throw on tons of layers. So also, if you got time, let me know what's the weather like wherever it is that you're tuning in from. But today I wanted to hop on just for a couple minutes and talk about happiness. Happiness is something that is dearly important to me, and it should be dearly important to you, because without happiness, what is all the rest of it worth? And in addition to just happiness, I think fulfillment, which is something separate from happiness, but there's a lot of cross connection between happiness and fulfillment. Typically, the more fulfilled you are, the happier you're going to be. And the happier that you are, the more opportunity you have to create fulfillment in your life. Now, the subject of today's talk, of today's live stream, is really not just about happiness in general. It's about the fact that you need to very, very consistently reevaluate your level of happiness and why you're at that happiness state or in that happiness level. And this is something that I do pretty often because my life has so much going on with it. I've got all these different projects I'm working on, all of these things I'm trying to create and build. New things come my way all the time. And so it's really important for me that I don't get burnt out in any one particular area, that I'm making sure that all of my efforts and all of the energy I'm spending are driving me closer to where I really want to be, because a lot of our happiness as human beings is derived from progress. Do we feel like we are making progress in the areas of our life that we want to see that progress, that we want to feel that progress? I think if you can take it back as an analogy to video games, right? The only way you stay playing a video game is if you are making progress. That's why when it comes to, let's say, classic Super Mario Brothers, right? Super fun game, one of my favorites. When you get to that Bowser level and you can't beat it, or this applies to really any video game, Street Fighter, right? You get to a certain level and it's been so much fun, but then you try and beat the top level, the bad guy at the end, and you'll try again and again and again. But at some point, if you don't make progress, getting closer to beating that end level, getting closer to beating the game, you're going to give up, you're going to quit, and you're going to say, I want to play a different game. Now, unfortunately, with life, there is no other game that you can play. You got one life, you got one you, and that is it. So you really got to make sure that your efforts and that the time that you're spending is mapping towards progress that matters to you. Now, for me, that progress looks like building more infrastructure in the companies that I own. It also looks like making more money financially towards my financial goals. It looks like maybe working on my house and making my house nicer. I don't personally work on it. My husband, Ben, does, but I am the director of all of our home projects. And he'll come up with all these crazy ideas and he'll run them by me. I'm like the project manager for our home improvements, and making sure that those map to what I want my house to turn into and the improvements I want to see in my physical actual home. So it's really important in this context to even understand what kind of progress matters to you. And if I look back at all of the times when I started to feel a little bit of unhappiness or a little bit of frustration in my life because, gosh darn it, I've got so much going on and maybe I feel like I just want to relax for a day, that's always stemmed from me being disconnected to a level of progress that I'm trying to achieve and realizing, man, this last week when I spent this amount of time doing this thing, I didn't make progress. And that made me feel like, not like I was wasting my time, because I certainly was enjoying the thing that I was doing, or I felt there was value in it. But because it didn't help me make progress towards one of my goals that I really care about, I started to feel this frustration, this negative energy kind of well up inside me and start to take over other areas of my life. And I think this is something that a lot of people really do experience. Maybe things are going great on paper, making a lot of money. You're in a job that you like, but for some reason, it just doesn't feel as fun anymore. It doesn't feel as fulfilling as it used to. And I can really bet that a lot of that is going to come down to you not making progress towards a specific goal that you have, but have not identified, have not said out loud and said, hey, I'm not making progress towards that goal. Yes, I'm making progress in this area. I'm making progress in another area. But this one thing that I really care about, I have not made the kind of progress that I want to be making. And this is where, for me, it is super, super helpful to have someone else to talk to about this, to help me gain perspective as to why I'm starting to feel that way and figure out what is it about how I'm spending my time and my energy that's leading me to feel this one way of maybe frustrated and less motivated than the other way that I know I feel most of the time, that I know I can feel, which is super, super energized, super excited, highly motivated, can't wait to do the things that are on my calendar. So if you're not feeling that way, you guys, if you see me and think, what a crazy person, how does she have all this energy? And you don't have that same level of energy towards the things that you're doing in your life, you really need to focus on what are those goals that you're trying to make progress on? Because when we have a goal we really care about, of course, we're going to feel excited. So maybe you're actually working towards someone else's goals. Maybe someone else told you, hey, this is what you should do. This is what your life should look like. And I think far too few of us have taken the time, have taken on the ownership, have taken on the bravery and courage to say, you know what? I don't care what anyone else says or thinks about what my life should be. This is what I want my life to look like. This is what I want to do with my life. And once you take that full ownership, it starts to get really exciting because it's the thing that you really care most about. It's the thing you decided. It's the thing that you get to put your life's work and your life's energy and mission into. What's up, Carly? So glad for you to drop in today. Absolutely happy to, share these thoughts that I'm having. And you know what? If these thoughts and these ideas don't apply to you, let us know in the comments. Let us know how you're feeling about your life. Are you super excited about what you're doing? Are you feeling stuck in a particular place? Share your struggles, share your obstacles, because you never know who's going to have an amazing insight. I'm not saying I'm going to have the answer. I might not have the answer, but maybe someone else who reads the comments, someone else watching this is going to be able to chime in and deliver some really valuable information for you, some really valuable perspective. And that's the thing. Another thing that I've really realized has helped me a great deal in life in general, but especially in the past couple years, is if I speak out into the world, the things I'm trying to accomplish, there's going to be other people who I am completely unaware of when I make that post, when I say those things, that is listening, that is watching, and they are going to have some answers for me. And if I'm lucky enough, they're going to share those answers with me. And so just by speaking, this is what I want to accomplish, just by telling you guys, you know what, I am trying to make an impact on people's lives in the way that they feel when it comes to how they feel about themselves and their own significance and their value and their place in this world, and how they feel about the way that they're spending their time, how they feel about the way that they're interacting with and engaging with other people in a meaningful way. And the reason that that is so important to me is because I believe so powerfully in the ripple effect, in the snowball effect of human beings, that when you make one single human being happier, you've actually made 20, 100, 1,000 people happier, because that person then goes on to have better interactions with other people. I'm sure you guys have noticed this just even in your own interactions, right? Like when you have a bad day, have you guys not noticed that you talk just a little bit less kindly to other people? I know that's true for me. I wish I could say it wasn't. My intentions are to always be as kind as I possibly can, as empathetic, as compassionate as I can. But when I'm having a really hard day, it's a little bit harder and I'm not quite 100% there. I notice it and I actively work on it, but I'm only human and so are you. And so when I can help make someone else's day better, I know for a fact that they're going to go on and make other people's days better through the way that they feel. Because not just our words affect other people, but our energy too, right? When you're walking down the street and you see someone smile at you and you feel their happiness, doesn't it make you smile? I experience this all the time. It is such a pure pleasure and a joy of owning a dog, right? When you've got a cute dog and you're walking down the street and someone else sees your dog and they go, oh my God, your dog's so cute. And you've just made their day simply by having a cute dog, right? And that dog having awesome, happy, I'm on a walk energy. Isn't that a powerful feeling? I hope you guys agree with this. And I'm going to read a comment here from Carly real quick, who says, love what you shared so far. How do you give yourself grace to be patient during those hard times when you put the action out there, but results haven't come yet? What a great question. So I think part of it is really due to the fact that I know even on a day when I feel like, man, I didn't make progress today, to realize how much progress I've made every single other day of my life, to realize I'm only 29 years old, and to look at what I've accomplished and look at the progress that I have made, and to be grateful for the things that have come from that progress. Because it's one thing to say, I made progress. It's another thing to say, I made progress and here's how it's impacted my life. I've made progress and here's how it's impacted someone else's life. And that'll sink into your heart. That'll sink into your soul to think, you know what? I don't feel like I made progress today on my work projects. I don't feel like I made progress today on spending time with my kids or my family. But man, look what I've built this year to provide for my family. Look what I've built this year in terms of growing my business. Look what I've built internally in terms of my own personal growth. And so it's really looking and trying to identify the areas where maybe over the course of a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years, however far you need to go back to realize, you know what? In the long, grand scheme of things, I am making progress. And if that progress isn't executed specifically on today, that's okay, because it's the combined work that I'm putting in every single day that leads to that progress in which I'm grateful for and which I can identify. So I hope that helps you out a little bit, Carly. It's hard when we're living so much in the moment to be able to take a step back and say, today is not the most important day because I have tomorrow, and tomorrow is going to be the most important day. Sometimes, I'm not going to say chalk it up to a loss, but sometimes it's good to say to yourself, today doesn't have to be a win the same way every other day's been a win, or the same way that last week was a huge win. It's okay. It's okay to not make massive progress every single day. And is there something else I can focus on outside of progress that is going to make me feel fulfilled or happy? Because yes, progress, I think, is such a major contributor to our happiness and our fulfillment levels, but it's certainly not the only thing. And I'm actually glad you asked that question, because I want to make sure that that is not what I'm getting across in terms of my messaging. There is never only one thing that can lead to your happiness. And for me, like, let's say, excuse me to all the men out there, let's say I'm having my period. Okay, ladies, you know what's up. And I don't feel very good today. Okay, maybe I'm exhausted. Maybe I got cramps. And it just really is making me feel like not doing a whole lot of work. I don't feel as motivated or energetic. I can still focus on how beautiful it is in the place that I live. Like, I'll still go on a walk and think about, wow, I am so lucky and happy to live in Spokane, Washington. And wow, look at the changing colors of the leaves. Like, what a beautiful thing it is just to be alive. And I think if you have that ability to focus on other things that bring you happiness, when that one main thing is not bringing you happiness, that you can always really be in control of your happiness levels and just of your emotions in general. The more you can start to figure out, this is what's making me feel this particular way, so let me refocus this into this other area. Oh, and now I feel this different way. Like, we are in complete control of our emotions based on where we are putting our thoughts and attentions towards. So if the area in which you're thinking is the reason for why you're not feeling fulfilled or happy, change that. Think about something else that is going to bring you that level of happiness and give you that just feeling of maybe not fulfillment, but just of being okay, of being more than okay, being really grateful, being happy for the life that we all get to live. Because when it all comes down to it, when it boils down to it, it's just a beautiful thing to be alive. Even when I was homeless, you guys, and had to spend, I would say the hours of like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. hanging out at the park because my camper van in which I was living in was just too hot in the summer in Walla Walla, Washington, where it gets to 100 plus degrees all the time. That just hanging out at the park, even though I was very bored a lot of the time, even though I was very hungry a lot of the time, I still spent a lot of time thinking about like, man, isn't life great? Man, aren't parks just beautiful places to be? Isn't it cool to watch all these other families, all these other people having a great time? And aren't there so many things to be thankful for and grateful for? Because when you've got nothing else, you've got your life and you've got hopefully your health. And if not your health, you still have control of your thoughts and your imagination. And I think imagination is a powerful thing. Let's say you're not feeling good. Let's say you're not happy about where you are. You still have your imagination to think wonderful, amazing things and focus on that. So that breaks it down, I think, as far as I can go right now and conceive about really how to find some happiness. But if I think about back in my school days where I didn't like who I was, I didn't know how to make friends, I didn't have any control over my life in terms of like my family is both when I grew up, because I'm the eldest of four children, my family was 100% kosher and vegetarian, which meant I got to eat nothing that I wanted. I didn't get to go to McDonald's. I didn't get to buy most of the food in the grocery store because you had to look for the circle U or the triangle K symbols on any of the packaging. And because my parents, and my dad's lactose intolerant. So it was like no cheese, no meat, and Brussels sprouts that my mom would microwave heat up in the microwave. And so for most of my life, I thought I hated Brussels sprouts until I figured out you could fry them on a pan. Ooh, I love them now. They're delicious. But even in that circumstance, my escape and the thing that I was grateful for and that did bring me happiness was reading books, because I could get lost in my imagination. I could get lost in these stories. And it was just such a wonderful thing for me to experience, even if I felt like I had nothing else. So when it all gets stripped away and you feel like you have nothing else, you still have your imagination, you still have your creativity, and you still have the ability to take yourself to places that you do want to be and that are 100% within your control in your choice. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you got any value out of this, go ahead and tag someone in the comments, grab the link, share it to social media, share it to your LinkedIn page, your Facebook, your Instagram, wherever it is that you enjoy hanging out on social media. And if you need any support, you need someone to talk to, you need some perspective, you need to share some ideas with someone who's going to give you feedback, just shoot me a message. I would love to get to know more of you guys, get to talk to you guys more. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. Hope to see you again tomorrow.